This video did not exist in your reality until the exact moment you directed your attention toward it. By simply clicking play, your consciousness has already begun to collapse a new wave of probability into physical existence. Today, we are going to dive deep into a profound secret regarding the observer effect and the quantum field. I promise you, by the end of our time together, you will completely understand your true, terrifyingly beautiful power as the absolute creator of your reality. You will never look at your past the same way again. But first, I must ask you something. Have you ever felt like you are constantly fighting your own mind, desperately trying to let go of a painful memory or a toxic situation, only to find that the harder you try to push it away, the stronger it becomes? To understand why you are stuck, we must first look at the invisible architecture of our universe. In the esoteric tradition of quantum mechanics, the world around you is not made of solid, unchangeable matter. It is a vast, infinite ocean of possibilities known as the quantum field. In this field, every possible past, present, and future exists simultaneously as a wave of pure potential energy. Nothing is real until it is observed. But here is the secret that humanity has forgotten. Observation is not a passive act of just looking at something. Observation is a fiercely active, deeply creative process. Your attention, fueled by your beliefs and emotions, is the mechanism that forces that invisible wave of potential to freeze into the solid reality you experience. You are not a victim of a pre-written script. You are the projector, the audience, and the light itself, constantly collapsing the quantum wave through the sheer force of your continuous observation. But what if I told you that the very act of trying to let go is exactly what keeps you trapped? When you consciously try to push a memory or a painful experience away, you are actually feeding it with immense amounts of your own life force. In the quantum field, your attention is the ultimate currency of creation. By actively fighting the past, you are shining a massive, high-intensity spotlight on the very thing you claim you want to destroy. Your logical brain says it wants peace, but your quantum energy signature is screaming for a war. You are commanding the universe to keep this specific reality alive because you are treating it as a solid, undeniable threat. This is why you feel so incredibly exhausted all the time. You are using your divine, creative energy to build a massive fortress against a ghost. The past only has power over you because you are currently observing it as something that needs to be forcefully removed. The universe does not hear your desperate words. It only registers the frequency of your intense focus. We must completely redefine what your past actually is. You have been taught to view your past as a heavy, concrete structure that is permanently cemented behind you. But from a metaphysical standpoint, your past is nothing more than a lingering wave of probability that you keep collapsing into the present moment through repetitive thought loops. It is not solid. It is incredibly fluid. Every single time you remember an event, you are not pulling a dusty file from a cabinet. You are actively recreating that event in the quantum field right now. You are dragging a dead timeline into your current reality and breathing fresh life into it. This means the past only survives because you grant it sanctuary in your mind. Once you truly comprehend that the past is entirely dependent on your current observation to survive, you realize how much control you actually hold. You do not need to heal the past. You just need to stop recreating it. This brings us to the profound revelation of quantum acknowledgement. This is the exact opposite of letting go. Letting go implies that there is a heavy object you are holding on to, and you must exert effort to open your hands and drop it. Acknowledgement, on the other hand, requires zero effort. It is the pure, unfiltered recognition of what is, without the desperate need to change it, fight it, or run away from it. When you use the quantum acknowledgement technique, you step out of the arena. You stop being the gladiator fighting your demons, and you become the silent, untouched sky watching the storm below. You are simply saying to the quantum field, I see this energy, I recognize its presence, and I choose to leave it exactly as it is. This subtle shift in your consciousness is the most devastating blow to any negative timeline. By removing your resistance, you instantly starve the old reality of its energetic food source. Let us examine the exact physics of this acknowledgement. When you resist a thought, your brain waves enter a chaotic, highly stressed beta state. Your electromagnetic field becomes dense and turbulent, locking you into the frequency of the problem. But when you shift into pure acknowledgement, your brain waves slow down into a calm, coherent alpha or theta state. Your heart rate harmonizes. In this state of profound coherence, you become a neutral observer. According to the observer effect, a quantum particle behaves differently when it is watched without interference. By looking at your trauma or your past mistakes with absolute neutrality, you cause the wave function of that negative timeline to collapse back into pure, unformed potential. You literally dissolve the energetic glue that was holding that specific reality together. The event loses its physical density and turns back into harmless information. The true secret to mastering this technique lies in understanding the emotional component of your observation. Emotions are the magnetic force that pulls experiences into your life. When you think about a painful past event, and you feel anger, shame, or grief, you are highly charged. That charge is the superglue of manifestation. As long as the memory carries a heavy emotional charge, it will continue to dictate your future. Quantum acknowledgement neutralizes this charge. It is the profound art of feeling the emotion without judging it as bad or wrong. You allow the sadness or the anger to simply exist in your body, acknowledging its presence without building a story around it. When you do this, the emotion peaks and then naturally dissipates. It burns itself out because it is no longer being fueled by your mental resistance. Once the emotional charge reaches zero, the memory becomes totally powerless. It is just a movie you watched once, unable to hurt you ever again. Consider a very common real-life example. Think about a recurring toxic cycle in your relationships or your career. You keep meeting the same type of manipulative person, or you keep facing the same financial blockages, just with different faces and different companies. You have tried cutting cords, you have tried positive affirmations, you have desperately tried to let go. Yet, the cycle repeats. Why? Because the universe is acting as a flawless mirror to your unresolved energetic charge. Every time you fight the pattern, you validate its reality. The universe says, they are focused on betrayal again. Let us provide more of it to match their observation. The cycle will never break through force. It will only shatter the moment you stand in front of the mirror. Acknowledge the reflection without flinching and refuse to react. When your reaction stops, the mirror has nothing left to reflect, and the old reality simply collapses into dust. To deeply anchor this understanding, you must completely shatter the illusion of linear time. You have been conditioned to believe that time flows in a straight line from yesterday to today to tomorrow. But in the higher dimensions of consciousness, time does not exist like that. Everything is happening right now, in this one eternal, infinite moment. Your past is not behind you. It is a parallel frequency existing right now alongside your current reality. When you dwell on a past hurt, you are not time-traveling backward. You are simply tuning your biological radio dial to a lower frequency that is broadcasting right now. Therefore, to collapse the past, you do not need a time machine. You only need to change the channel of your attention in the present moment. By acknowledging the old frequency and deliberately choosing not to tune into it, You instantly disconnect from that parallel reality. You sever the energetic cord in the eternal now. This observer effect is constantly operating in your daily life, usually completely outside of your conscious awareness. Every judgment you make, every assumption you hold about other people, is an active projection of your internal quantum state. When you walk into a room expecting people to judge you based on your past failures, you literally broadcast a frequency that commands their subconscious minds to perceive you negatively. You are forcing the quantum wave of their potential behavior to collapse into the exact scenario you fear. This is the tragic irony of human existence. We are constantly using our divine creator abilities to manifest our own nightmares, simply because we refuse to acknowledge our fears neutrally. Once you take responsibility for the fact that your observation is manipulating the entire stage, you can start to use this law deliberately. You can walk into that same room, acknowledge the fear, neutralize it, and project absolute sovereign confidence. Let us deeply unpack what a memory actually is. A memory is not a factual recording of an event stored on a hard drive in your brain. A memory is a holographic reconstruction created by your neural network in the present moment. Every time you recall a situation, your brain rebuilds it from scratch, heavily influenced by your current emotional state. This means your memory is highly unreliable and entirely malleable. If you recall a past trauma while feeling helpless, you strengthen the neural pathways of victimhood. But if you recall that exact same event using quantum acknowledgement, viewing it from a state of calm, detached power, you actually rewrite the neural pathways. You literally change the biological structure of your brain and alter the holographic projection of the past. You are not changing what physically happened, but you are completely mutating what the event means, thereby stripping it of its ability to influence your tomorrow. You have likely experienced spontaneous proof of this quantum fluidity in the form of déjà vu. Many people dismiss déjà vu as a simple brain glitch, but in the realm of metaphysics, a powerful wave of déjà vu is a profound synchronicity. It is a clear signal from the field that you have reached a critical juncture in your timeline. It occurs when two parallel realities briefly intersect, or when your current observation flawlessly aligns with a future potential you have already mapped out on a soul level. When you experience déjà vu, you are feeling the echo of your own consciousness, recognizing its path. It is a reminder that the script is not set in stone, and that you are the one writing it. If you practice quantum acknowledgement during a moment of déjà vu, remaining perfectly still and neutral, you can consciously choose which intersecting timeline you wish to step into. You become the master of the crossroads, rather than a leaf blown by the wind. So, how do we practically apply this secret? Step 1 of the quantum acknowledgement technique is pure seeing without any judgment. When a painful memory or a deep anxiety arises, your immediate instinct is to categorize it. You tell yourself, "This is terrible. I hate feeling this way. I need to make it stop." This is the trap. The first step is to simply observe the thought as if it were a strange bird landing on your windowsill. You look at it with mild curiosity. You say internally, "I see this thought of unworthiness. I see this memory of failure." You do not invite it in for tea, and you do not chase it away with a broom. You just see it. This pure, unadulterated seeing is incredibly powerful. It instantly separates your core identity from the thought. You realize that if you can observe the anxiety, you cannot possibly be the anxiety. You are the infinite space in which the anxiety is temporarily occurring. Step 2 requires you to systematically remove the emotional and linguistic labels from the experience. Words cast spells. That is why it is called spelling. When you label an energetic sensation in your body as devastating anxiety or unbearable grief, you command your biology to react to those specific, heavy concepts. In this step, you must strip the words away. Instead of saying, "I am heartbroken over the past," shift your focus to the pure physical sensation. Notice the tightness in your chest. Notice the shallow breathing. Acknowledge these sensations as pure, neutral energy moving through a biological vessel. Tell yourself, there is a sensation of pressure in my chest. There is heat in my throat. By removing the dramatic narrative, you stop feeding the quantum field the frequency of suffering. You reduce the mighty, terrifying monster of your past into a simple, manageable cluster of physical vibrations. Step 3 is the ultimate act of mastery. It is the conscious withdrawal of the observer's energy. Once you have purely seen the thought and stripped it of its dramatic labels, you simply remove your attention from it. You do not force it to leave. You just stop looking at it. Imagine the memory is a television playing loudly in the corner of a room. You do not need to smash the television to find peace. You just need to turn your chair around and look out the window. By redirecting your profound, creative focus toward the present moment, toward the feeling of the breath in your lungs, or toward a vision of your desired future, you starve the old reality. Without your continuous observation, the quantum wave of the past simply cannot sustain its form. It begins to wobble, lose density, and quietly collapse back into the void. You have successfully deleted a timeline without lifting a single finger in resistance. When you execute this shift correctly, the immediate aftermath is undeniable. You will experience a profound somatic release. The body holds the score of every unacknowledged quantum wave you have been carrying. As the old reality collapses, the dense energy that was trapped in your cells is finally allowed to move. You might suddenly feel a deep sigh escape your lips, a sudden wave of heat, or even spontaneous tears that have no emotional story attached to them. This is not sadness. This is the pure physical evacuation of dead energy. Your shoulders will drop. The chronic tension in your jaw will melt. This physical lightness is the ultimate confirmation that the timeline has collapsed. Your biological vessel is recalibrating to a higher, less dense frequency. You are literally occupying less heavy, traumatic space in the universe. Do not fear these physical releases. Welcome them as the glorious evidence of your newly reclaimed power. Following the internal somatic release, you will begin to witness the external shift. The quantum field is highly responsive, and it will immediately provide feedback to your new frequency in the form of synchronicities. Synchronicities are not random coincidences. They are the mathematical echoes of your consciousness bouncing off the walls of reality. When you collapse a heavy past timeline, you create a massive energetic vacuum in your field. The universe abhors a vacuum, and it will instantly rush to fill it with new experiences that match your new state of neutral empowerment. You will start seeing repeating numbers everywhere. You will hear strangers talking about the exact concepts you have been contemplating. Opportunities that were completely blocked for years will suddenly swing open with zero effort on your part. These signs are the universe bowing to your mastery. They are confirming that the simulation has updated to reflect your new commands. Let me share a very common manifestation of this external shift. Mostly, when you finally use quantum acknowledgement to completely neutralize your charge regarding a specific person from your past, something incredibly strange happens. Within days, or sometimes even hours, you will receive a sudden text message from them, or you will unexpectedly bump into them on the street, or you will receive a sudden, out-of-the-blue resolution to a legal or financial conflict involving them. This happens because the energetic tug-of-war between you two has snapped. While you were resisting them, your energy was holding them in a specific pattern. The moment you dropped the rope and collapsed the wave, they unconsciously felt the profound shift in the quantum field. They were released from the role you were forcing them to play. This sudden reappearance is just a test from the field, asking you, are you truly neutral now? Remain the calm observer and watch the magic unfold. You must be prepared for the resistance of your own mind. The ego mind absolutely terrifies at the simplicity of this technique. Your ego has built its entire identity around your pain, your struggles, and your dramatic history. It believes that if you just acknowledge the past and neutralize it, you will lose who you are. The mind will try to pull you back into the mud. It will whisper that you need to analyze the past more, that you need closure, that you need the other person to apologize before you can be free. Recognize this voice for what it is. It is just an outdated software program trying to prevent its own deletion. You do not need closure from the outside world. Closure is an internal quantum event. When the ego tries to drag you back into the story, use the technique on the ego itself. Acknowledge the mind's fear neutrally. Say, I see the mind is afraid of losing its story. Watch the ego dissolve under the light of your pure observation. As you master this, you step into the ultimate level of reality creation, rewriting the timeline. Because time is an illusion, when you collapse the emotional charge of a past event, you literally change the past. You alter the vibrational resonance of that event across all time and space. The event transforms from a heavy trauma into a powerful catalyst for your awakening. The past becomes a loyal servant, providing you with wisdom and depth, rather than a cruel master keeping you in chains. You realize that everything that happened to you was secretly happening for you, entirely designed to push you to this exact moment of quantum realization. By changing the observer in the present, the entire tapestry of your history rearranges itself into a masterpiece of spiritual evolution. You have successfully hacked the matrix. You are no longer bound by cause and effect. You are the prime cause. The ultimate goal of quantum acknowledgement is to cultivate a permanent state of neutrality. Neutrality is not apathy. It is not being cold or unfeeling. True energetic neutrality is the highest, most powerful state of consciousness a human being can attain. It is the eye of the hurricane, calm, centered, and immensely powerful, while the chaotic world spins around it. When you are neutral, nothing can attach to you without your permission. You become completely transparent to negative energy. It passes right through you because there is no resistance for it to strike against. In this state, your ability to manifest becomes instantaneous. Because you have no desperate attachment to outcomes and no resistance to what is, your intentions slide into the quantum field completely frictionless. You can command reality with a whisper because you are perfectly aligned with the pure, unresisting flow of universal energy. This is the profound integration of your awakening. You are not a human being trying to learn how to manipulate the universe. You are the universe itself, experiencing a temporary human perspective. The quantum field is not something outside of you. It is the very fabric of your own consciousness. When you stop fighting your own creation, when you stop trying to forcefully let go of the illusions you yourself have manifested, you finally remember who you are. You are the silent watcher. You are the conscious anchor of a new, glorious reality. Every time a shadow from the past arises, smile at it. Acknowledge its presence, honor its teaching, and then gracefully remove your attention, turning your magnificent light toward the endless, brilliant horizon of the present moment. You are free. You have always been free. You only had to stop pretending that you were bound. The profound truth is this: you are not living in reality, you are reality, continuously observing and shaping itself into existence. By abandoning the exhausting struggle of letting go and embracing the effortless power of quantum acknowledgement, you instantly collapse the heavy illusions of your past. You starve the old timelines of their energy and reclaim your position as the absolute master of the present moment. The entire universe is waiting for your next command. Thank you for walking this profound path of awakening with me today. If this message unlocked a new level of understanding within you, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and step into your power by writing this exact activation phrase in the comments below. Write, "I am the observer commanding my reality." Now, I want to hear from you. What strange signs, numbers, or synchronicities have you been noticing in your life recently as your energy begins to shift?